When you think American Express, you probably picture that slick black card, right? The exclusive airport lounges, that whole vibe of prestige. But that powerful brand, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath it all is this incredibly smart, deliberate strategy that sets Amex completely apart from everyone else. So let's get into it and break down how it all really works. Yeah, because see, underneath all that luxury branding, Amex is playing a totally different game than its biggest rivals. It's not just another company that processes payments, it's its own complete, self contained financial world. And that fundamental difference? That's the key to their entire strategy. It's exactly how they manage to compete and win in a market just full of giants. So, the big question is, how does this exclusive little ecosystem actually function? To really get it, first we have to look right past the fancy brand and see how Amex actually stacks up against the competition. Okay, so this table really just lays it all out. Look at Visa and MasterCard. Their whole game is about being this massive open network, right? They process transactions for thousands of different banks. Then you've got someone like Capital One. They're aiming for the mass market. But Amex is doing something totally different. They are laser focused on premium spenders, and they control the entire process themselves, from issuing the card all the way to managing the relationship with the store. It's all about control, not just massive scale. And that control? That's what we're going to talk about now. It is built on one single foundational concept that makes American Express an outlier in the entire industry. It's called the closed loop network. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. Visa and MasterCard, they own the air traffic control system for a giant public airport. But American Express, they own the private jet, the exclusive terminal, and the runway. They control every single piece of the journey from start to finish. And this is why owning the whole system is such a superpower. It gives Amex a direct line to its customers and, maybe most importantly, all of their data. This fire hose of information on what people are buying allows them to build some of the best fraud detection on the planet, create personalized offers that you'd actually want, and here's the kicker, they get to earn money from both the merchant fees and from lending. That's something Visa and MasterCard just can't do. So you have this incredibly powerful closed-loop model. Who do you aim it at? Well, the answer to that question is the other half of Amex's secret sauce. Now, just take a look at these numbers for a second. When you look at the sheer volume of money moving through these networks, Amex is a pretty distant third. I mean, it is not even close. They're handling trillions of dollars less than Visa. So you've got to ask, right? How does a company with a way smaller piece of the pie not only survive, but actually thrive against these absolute behemoths? Well, they win by refusing to play the same game. Amex deliberately goes after wealthy consumers and small businesses. Why? Because these are customers who spend more money with every swipe and are way less likely to default on their payments. It is a pure strategy of quality over quantity. They don't need the most transactions. They just need the most valuable ones. You combine that focus with their legendary rewards programs, and what you get is some seriously intense customer loyalty. Okay, so that's the classic strategy. But how are they keeping that edge in the modern era? Well, to stay ahead, Amex is leaning hard into technology, basically transforming itself from a financial services company into a legit fintech powerhouse. And look, this isn't just some side project they're tinkering with. Right now, American Express has over 70 distinct generative AI projects running across the entire company. This isn't some plan for the future. It's happening as we speak. They're embedding AI into the very core of how they do business. And all this AI muscle is focused on three main things. First, using AI to make their already best-in-class fraud detection even smarter. Second, taking all that rich, closed-loop data to create hyper-personalized experiences for their customers. And third, using it to push into the massive business-to-business payments market. And you know what? It really seems to be working. You might think of Amex as your parents' credit card, but get this. Over 60% of their new customers are now millennials and Gen Z. That's what AI-driven personalization can do. It helps you deliver the exact right offers and experiences to attract a whole new generation of high-value customers. And to speed things up, they are not just building it all in-house. Their venture capital arm is making these really smart strategic investments in key AI startups. They're backing companies like Cedric to automate boring compliance stuff, Galileo to make sure their AI models are rock solid, and Mindtrip to build the next generation of travel tools. And it all feeds right back into making that premium customer experience even better.
So where does all of this lead? How does this mix of a closed-loop network, a premium customer focus, and a really aggressive AI strategy actually play out in the real world?
Well, we're already seeing it happen. Take this recent move in New Zealand. They partnered with a company called Reward Pay. It lets businesses pay their taxes with an Amex card, which means they earn rewards and get a little extra time to pay. This is a perfect example of their strategy in action, a direct push into that high-value B2B payment space.
And it looks like the market is really taking notice. Now, this is not investment advice, of course, but you can see that the stock has been performing really well. And what that reflects is this growing belief from investors that Amex's unique model, that blend of brand power and tech leadership, is a real formula for success.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big question. In a world that's going more and more digital, where all these fintech startups are trying to make finance accessible to everyone, is the Amex model, the exclusive club built on premium service and data, really the most durable path forward? It's a fascinating bet on a very old idea, that in a world where everything is available to everyone, maybe scarcity and status are still the ultimate assets.